4, 3, 2, 1. And we're live! Well, hello everybody. Let me go ahead and get my headphones off here. Get some music playing for us. And we're just going to work on a Webi bug that's related to... I'm just going to bring it over here in just a second. Let me just bring it over now. So we got a bug in Webi to fix. Weak OS detection. So somebody has machine in their host name. And so what's happening is machine has Mac in it. And so it's causing a Linux system to get the Mac binary. Yeah, that's the basic, that's the core of our problem. So we are going to see if we can fix this real quick. So give me 1 second here. I need to find out where is. Let's get a terminal over here. Do we have a terminal over here? We do not have a terminal over here. What are we even doing? Huh? Okay, mic is on. Oh, there we go. Now we got the music. Sorry. All right. So my question is, if I do man uname, what do I get? P? Processor architecture. Oh, whoops. My volume's a little loud. Let me go fix that. There we go. All right, let's see what's going on. Okay, what do we have? -M? Machine hardware platform. I'm making an issue. It's going to pop up over there in just a second. Let's see. MPRS. What was this operating system release level? And then what was the last one? -S or yeah. Okay, so I'm going to make this comment and then we'll continue over here on this screen. So basically, uname -A is too much information. It contains the network name, and we don't want that because that could be wrong. But you know what we do want? We do want a nice cold Mountain Dew. You know why? Because it's refreshing and it helps us focus and it makes us feel good inside. So let's pop top, my friends. Not nearly cold enough. I'm going to have to get a cold one from the fridge later. Woo! That is good. All right, so we have our... That seems kind of useless. So let me... There we go. I don't know why this was missing the other day. My ability to be able to make this bigger. I was on a call with somebody, and I couldn't make it bigger, and it was bugging the bejeebies out of me because I needed it bigger. So, actually, you know what? This is better as a table. Flag, meaning example. Boom. So flag means machine platform. An example of it would be, that's not it, that's release. And I guess the order doesn't matter. So S would be Darwin. What was M again? M is ARM64. Alright, dash P. And this would be non-standard. Alright, machine processor architecture. And this one. Oh, I'm doing this all wrong. Okay, this would just be ARM, right? Operating system release level. This is the one that was going to be 22.2.0. Is that what that was? How's it going, everybody? Yeah, 22.2.0. And then S for operating system implementation. Okay, and then let's go ahead and do like this, right? And then we need dash V. Woo! Okay, that's a little bit weird. M P. Let's see, does it work on all Linuxes? If it works on all Linuxes, then perhaps we could just say dash P. Or maybe we don't need it after all. I don't know. Let's get it in beta real quick. And let's try uname on beta and see what happens. So first of all, man uname. Let's see what we get. A S R V M P. Yeah, non-portable. But why? What's the difference? Why M versus P? Maybe we don't need it. Maybe we could just do... Because I think the thing is here. Yeah, we've got the build of the operating system. Okay. That kind of makes sense to keep around. So MRSV. Can we change the positioning of these to put them in different places? No. Doesn't matter which way we do it. S comes first, R comes next, then V, then M. This is... Yeah. So this is what the order it goes in. Josue, what's up? I'm wondering, does it work on BSD as well? Because one thing that we need to do is we need to get Webi on BSD. I have not really done much for that, other than starting the POSIX conversion. Okay. So here we got everything. We just dropped the network name. And I think this is enough information. I kind of like the idea of having the release information. But this seems like this should be enough. Let's run this on... We'll run this on beta for a little bit. Because it looks like V just gives us more specific. So SRV looks like it's just more and more specific. And then P is just more specific of M. So Mac, Linux. Run this on Mac again. Ah! It's not what I wanted at all. Doing great. Some BSD commands are wildly different, like netcat, so might have to go and take a look. Yeah, I think if we just stick with POSIX, we'll be good. So that's my thought on this one, is let's just stick with POSIX. I don't think we need the sub-architecture details. I could be wrong about that because there's the issue of the Raspberry Pi. Let me see if I can log into a Raspberry Pi real quick. Where else do I have a Linux? I think Pipe. Is Pipe? Yeah, can we get into Pipe here? I think Pipe is a Pi. SRM. Okay, that's good. And then P gives us no additional information. V. Let's see. Raspberry Pi. Raspberry. Does anybody else have a Raspberry Pi they could check real quick? Let me toss the command down here. These are the two commands I want output for. Because there's Raspberry Pi, the problem with Raspberry Pi is there's two ways that it can run. It can run with a ARM OS that is not 64-bit. It can have a 32-bit OS running on 64-bit architecture. And that turns out to be bad. Well, it turns out to be hard to detect. All right, and then what was I going to do with this one? So let's just take a look here. Delete our Linux, delete our Mac. And then uname-sr VM. Oh, this was our Linux. And then we'll do our Mac next. SRVM. And then I want to do the difference between these. We really need a Raspberry Pi that's in 64-bit mode and a Raspberry Pi that's a 64-bit processor with 32-bit operating system, so we can tell the difference. Because I think what happens with the 32-bit operating system is I think that the hardware reports what mode it's running in, and it will be running in 32-bit mode. SRMP. Okay. Mac, and I should probably run this on an older Mac as well, but I don't think it's going to matter that much. It's probably going to be, you know, x64 versus, I don't know. Okay, so this was Linux, and then we have Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. I have some other devices on my network. I'm sure one of them is in that mode, but I don't know which off the top of my head. Pipe is not. Pipe is full 64. Okay. So I'm not going to do my normal thing of putting these in alphabetical order because the specificity is really what matters here. So we're going from V operating system release version. And that could be heck long. Specificity also matters with CSS. Oh, indeed it does. I'm going to pick the shorter of the two. It's too bad that they can't agree on whether to call it ARM64 or AArch64. It seems like that's not that hard of a thing, but... Okay. I think we can get away with SRM. I kind of like this idea. Because at least in what I can test, the one thing I'm worried about is the Raspberry Pi. I'm worried that that one is going to tell us something. If we're at a 32-bit... So Raspbian is 32-bit. And there's another one, the Debian version, I guess, is 64-bit. Oh, did I just hear... I thought I heard a follow. But I didn't see the follow pop up. Do it. Is everything turned on here? Just one second while I take a look at the... make sure that I have everything turned on. Yeah, okay. The follow stuff should be turned on, so maybe I just thought I heard a follow. Anyway, if you follow, just thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, let me open up Unify here. And let me find out what I have in on my network. I'm going to click on the topology button. I'm over on the other screen. This is going to show every device on my network and what thing it's connected to. Oh my heavens, there are so many devices on my network. I don't know how it's possible. Okay. So, a bunch of iPhones. More iPhones than you'd think. Because I now have these that I've been setting up as extra camera angles, which I still have not really been utilizing. And then I've got my old phone that I haven't sold yet. Okay, and then we've got the Microplex. We've got Pipe. I don't see the other Raspberry Pis. I know there are other Raspberry Pis, but I don't see them appearing. There is one device that I have no idea what it is. I'm just going to try SSHing into it and see what happens. Okay. I'm going to get on my step stool real quick. Wait, what Discord chat? There is a Discord chat. Oh, Discord chat. I will check the Discord chat. Okay. Let me go check Discord. Does the OS not have some APIs to check the version? This is the API to check the version. Uname is the API. Other than that, you have to get specific. Cat Etsy issue often works on Linuxes. I don't think it works on BSDs. Let's try it. Yeah. So Uname is the operating system independent way of figuring out. Actually, if you've got Windows, I would love it. Run uname on Windows right now. I don't think it's there as of last time I checked, but I haven't tried on Windows 11. And Windows has been implementing more of the POSIX standard. For example, tar is on the BSD version of tar is on Windows now. And I hate to break it to you, but BSD tar is better than... What is this connected to? Is this connected to the network? It's connected to the network. I don't know which one this is. I think that must be pipe. It looks like it's all connected and everything's good to go. I'm gonna get out my ladder here. You see? My nice cobalt ladder. Yeah. Little step stool. There we go. Let's check up here. Alright. We've got microplexes up here. Oh, look, a nail. I was looking for that the other day. What else is up here? Okay, here's a Raspberry Pi right here. What is this thing? What is this doing? What Raspberry Pi is this? Fans going on it. I think that's the... So that other one must be the Raspberry Pi 3. How do I tell if it's a Raspberry Pi 3 or a Raspberry Pi 4? Okay. And audio's back. I'm glad I caught it right as it happened that time. Okay. YouTube bots alert. Oh, are YouTube bots coming in? Is this Discord chat? No. What? No, this. So we've got Twitch chat and we've got YouTube chat. We got both. Josue is not a bot. Josue is a friend. Friends, not bots. Okay, I'm going to check this list again. Way too many iPhones connected. Pipe. And then, what is the IP address of this one? Show me your IP address. Show it to me. All right, and I'm going to... That's something on my network. I don't know what it is. I kind of want to just disconnect it and then find out what breaks. I'm going to open up my SSH config. Oh, check this out. This is probably going to bite me in the butt, but I just learned how to do this. Isn't that cool? It's very simple. I'm just showing the scaled version of my screen, and then rather than using a bicubic filter or something like that, it's just using the bit filter, so it's combining everything into pixels rather than trying to smooth it out. And so we get this nice little ditty. Isn't that neat? Okay, so where is... Pipe is our Pi 4. And then we've got Pinky and Picky. Let's try to get into those. Pinky. Can we get into Pinky? I'm going to reboot the one Pi that I'm pretty sure is not the RPi 4. Oh, music's too loud now. Hold on. Is it just one particular song that was too loud? Because it looks like it's registering below negative 40 dB to me, which is where I want it to be. I'll turn it down just a touch more. How's that? That's not too much. Oh, it was just the one song. Hey, Yo Rune. Do you have the RPi on... we got Pinky and Picky, I think were the two. I'm gonna take one more look at my routing here, because it should know where these are coming in from. And then I'm going to try to log it. Oh, the question I was going to ask is, do you have a 64-bit or a 32-bit operating system on your iPi 4? Because that's what we need to figure out with uname. Because we might be able to get two bugs with one stone here. All right, I'm just going to power cycle this one. I'm pretty sure this is the RPi 3. Yeah, this is the Raspberry Pi 3. All right, power cycling. It's coming back up. All right. All right, and the microphone's back. This is really frustrating. So I'm getting a new USB hub. I think I might just go ahead and order the new mic just in case, and then I can return it if everything's good. Okay, so that did not work. Let me go see what the static IP addresses I have set up for my Raspberry Pis are. When I refresh, I'm looking at my Unify on the network here. Okay, I see pipe is up. And we know we can get into pipe. Pipe is also RPi 4. Yeah, that's exactly what we want. You've got it. Wait, no. If you've got an RPi 4, it's 64-bit. And if you have an RPi 3, it's also 64-bit. Its Raspbian is 32-bit. And that's exactly the scenario we need to test. We need to test what are these different... So if you do system revision machine processor, this is what I want to know the output of on your Raspberry Pi. I want to know what that says. And then I'd also like to know what operating system version says. These are the two pieces of information I'd love it if you could give me. Okay, and I am not seeing it pop up here. Okay, thank you so much. I'm going to copy this over. So this should help us fix this problem. Actually, I think we should just get rid of all this because this is not helpful. There we go. Whoa! Scared the bejeebies out of me. Alright, so this is Raspberry Pi 32-bit OS on ARch64. That should be ARM 8. What? That doesn't make any sense. That makes no sense. Okay, but the good news is, so that's SRMP. System. What? Why is it coming back with the network name? Could you do the... Yarun, would you try those individually? Uname-S, Uname-R, Uname-M, Uname-P? Because this doesn't make sense. Because it should be system is Linux. Okay, maybe it does make sense. Version... Oh, Raspberry VPN is the name. That's your host name. That's from your prompt, right? Okay, so this one... All right, you'll send it in the Discord? Great. Okay, so this is what I think this breaks down to. I think it's saying unknown because it's confused, because it's a 32-bit operating system, and the 32-bit operating system may not have the 64-bit architecture mapped. And so I think what we're getting here is M is not actually the architecture of the machine. M is actually what the operating system has been built for. And P is the actual architecture of the machine, which it doesn't know what the actual architecture of the machine is. So I could be wrong, but I think this is what we're looking at. And this is actually good. This is better. This should give us better results than what we're getting now, because this should actually fix the bug with the Raspberry Pi being detected for the wrong architecture. Okay. So this is good. I like this. All right, I'm looking for the DM. Excellent. This is excellent. Excellent, 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 excellent. This should fix one of our biggest problems with the Raspberry Pi between the two different architectures. And I'm guessing uname-v. This actually didn't tell us anything useful. Okay, and that is a Raspberry Pi 4. And Raspbian is running in 32-bit mode. Okay. So you might be saving a little bit of RAM. And not really... They say that there's not really any downsides to running the 32-bit operating system because of the type of use cases for which the Raspberry Pi is used. Okay, cool. So I think SRM is our man. I don't think that we want P at all, even if it were supported on BSD. I don't think we want P because P at best can lie to us, and at worst will tell us unknown. M will lie to us, but it will lie to us in the right way. It will lie to us in the way that tells us what machine code we need to send. Whereas P could tell us the right architecture, which would have us sending the wrong machine code. Because we have to match the machine code of the operating system, not the machine code of the CPU. We need to match... Yeah. I don't know if what I said makes sense, but it makes sense. So get sense about it. Yeah, so ARM64, AArch64, x86-64. Okay. Cool. Well, this is good enough. For example, so here you've got a Raspberry Pi 4, but it's showing up as the processor of a Raspberry Pi 2, and that's okay. Because the operating system has been compiled for a Raspberry Pi 2, which means that we can only send a binary that runs on a Raspberry Pi 2. We can't send a binary that could only run on a Raspberry Pi 4 because the operating system is compiled for a Raspberry Pi. So anyway, this is good. This is good. This fixes a long-standing, a bug that we didn't know about, and then a bug that we kind of knew about but was rare because not as many people are using their Raspberry Pi in the way that the bug manifests. Okay, so let's do this. We're going to go into installers. Are we on? Let's do another hotfix. Let me make sure I'm up to date here. Git checkout -b hotfix. Yes, I know. Hotfix already exists. Great. Let's check it out. Git rebase main. Git, I just want to make sure, git cherry-v main. Nothing. good. This is what we expect. And then from here, oh, and my device list updated. Is it now showing my other Raspberry Pi? Let's see. It's not. That's weird. I wonder if it didn't boot up properly. I don't even know what getconf is. Getconf longbit? Let's see if that works on Darwin. I bet it won't. Oh, it does. Well. Cool. That's neat. I'm going to save that for later. Okay. If we really wanted to know the truth on a Raspberry Pi, we could use longbit. However, what actually matters is not the real CPU, but the CPU that the OS was built for. So that's good. That's good. I'm glad to finally have this information. So let's go through and just look for anywhere we have uname, which I think is only going to be, oh, it's in more places than I thought. So SRM is what we want. How did we do it in other places? So SRM. And we probably don't even, I mean, if we were to go back at this, really, system would be fine. Right, uname -s gives us operating system. So let's go back and see what do we actually need here. I mean, technically we should just be able to do a text match, but I don't know. It just scares me to do a text match when we could do something a little bit better. Okay, GPG. Did I already do that one? I already did that one. Okay, so all three of these were taken care of. Okay, uname. I could probably update some of those other ones to have a simpler command like this. Actually, let me try with those earlier ones. So with the GPG one, because I think I just didn't know what I was doing at the time. Because I think what we could do here... Hold on. What am I looking at? Let me just test this out. Set no number. I'm going to check chat. So I haven't been checking chat. Give me a second here to get caught up. Yeah, I've got an RPi 3 and I got rid of all my RPi 2s and RPi 1s. I have an RPi 4 and I think 2 RPi 3s that are hanging around. All right, cool. So you checked on RPi 4, a Mac with an M2 and Gen 2, and we're all good? Okay, thanks. Really appreciate that help. Okay, set no number. I'm going to try this out. Let's make sure this works as expected on Mac. Okay, so nothing. That's good. Let me try this. Else. Echo Mac. All right, good. That works. So let's try this over on Linux real quick. Excellent. Cool. So that gives us what we want. It doesn't give us spurious output. That is the more POSIX-y correct way to do this. So let's actually, let me just copy that over from here. And then where else? The brew one? Was it Git? Oops, we need to do that for Git. All right. Understood. And then what was the last one? I think there was one more, wasn't there? Brew. Okay, good. And then, okay, sorry. I'm going to get rid of the quotes around this because they're not helpful, maybe? I don't know if they're actually helpful, so let's just go ahead and get rid of them. Alright, and that one doesn't have it, and then the fish one. Let me go get rid of them on the fish one. So I think that's... I like the syntax highlighting better on that. And then what was the other thing? There was a Webi template here. Alright. And I think we need to change... I don't know if we need to change anything else. Hey everybody, how's it going? I am just, I'm fixing a bug on Webi. Here's a link to the bug. Where the uname detection was too broad. I was getting the host name. And people do, you know, funny things like name their system Linux wannabe or Mac wannabe or machine, which has the letters Mac in it. Or, you know, things like that. People put stuff in their host name that was making the detection go wrong. And I did not realize that uname doesn't, I didn't realize that uname, you can combine the flags because it, you know, this is every flag, or this is everything that uname can put out is uname-a, but you can be more limited. And I knew that you could do -s, and I knew that you could do -m, and I knew that you could do -r, but I didn't know, one, that -p was not POSIX compliant. I didn't know that. I don't know if I knew about -v being POSIX compliant. And I didn't know that you could do system revision machine and get just the specific information. So we're going to make it so that Webi gives less information. So system revision machine. And I'm putting the letters that way rather than alphabetically because that's the way the output is, no matter which way you put the flags. Okay. But I would kind of like to maybe make this a little nicer. I think it should be like this. I think this is the way it's supposed to go. But I need to double check on that. Let's see. All of these places where we're using Webi UA. There's places where we have UA equals. Let's try searching for that instead. So even though I can combine them all together, I don't think I actually want to. I think I want to do this. And I think that's correct. I think that that is a correctly formatted version string. I'm going to check what I have for one of my other projects here in root. Oh, this is actually one of the reasons that I do have the request. Request.js. There is in here user agent os dot. How do we do this? So it's supposed to be application name version, runtime name and version, platform name and release, type and architecture. Let me see what that ends up being real quick. So we're going to go node and bloomp. What? Why was runtime not defined? Oh, runtime. Process.release.name. Okay. Got it. All right, so package version, Platform version, OS version. Interesting. And then I could just repeat that again, I guess. Or let it be. Interesting. Okay, we're just going to let that go. This is good. Hey, everybody. How's it going? I need to tell the AI to do my hair a little better. Everybody's watching, you know. Got to be vain. All right, let's take a look at this. So, again... Oops, let's do this. All right, let's take a look at all these places. If Darwin is not equal to... This is actually a little bit better. Sorry, I'm going to go make a couple of those changes again and just use this exact check because it's okay. And I'm going to leave this one alone right here, this UA detect. I think that that's fine because I think the purpose was to make it simpler for copying and pasting, and that is simpler for copying and pasting. This one here... Yeah. I think I might update this too. uname-s. And this will actually be helpful to have this extra information there. Okay. What is this? Okay. So I'm going to go back to those few that I did before, the GPG. And this basically should just be if Darwin is not equal to uname-s. We don't need to invoke grep here. We can just test like that. That's fine. We can do the same thing with get. I think it was get, fish, and brew. We just need to make sure that the things go in the right direction. So this one is if it is Darwin. That's what this one is saying. So if it is Darwin. Oh, whoops. Single equals. And then we had what? Fish. The fish install. Again, if it's not Darwin. And then what else? We had brew install. And this one is if it is, not if it isn't, but if it is. And then we're going to have to look at these with a thorough eye. Okay, what are all the ones that have changed? Brew, fish, get, GPG, bootstrap, template, update. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get checkout-b fix uname. That's what, because we're going to go ahead and whip this, and I'm going to get it up for review as quickly as I can. Bah, humbug. You know how you get around that problem, though? You just put the thing around in single quotes, because Git itself understands the asterisk. So let's just get this up so we can start reviewing it. And this will be fix use uname -srm correctly. Replace uname-a with uname-srm. for better there we go. Ah! Let me pretend like this is top secret. Oh wait, yeah, there we go. There we go. That was just kind of fun. All right, now I actually want to do... Let's look at this line by line. Let's look at it on GitHub, actually. I'd actually prefer to look at this. This is a PR on GitHub. Oh, did I not push it? Okay, there we go. Fix uname. Fixes number. And possibly an old issue with 32-bit versus 64-bit OS on 64-bit Raspberry Pi. We hope. And then I want to bring this over here. I'm just going to duplicate this. Okay, so let's do this. So I'm going to label these in theory. In practice, and then caveat, we need the lies. I'm going to throw this over to Jojo Byte. It looks like he's on. But let's go ahead and look through this. I think I'm going to deploy this as a hotfix. That, if I'm that confident about it. I don't know if I'm going to be that confident about it, but we'll see. Okay, let's look at this not side by side. Should we look at it side by side? Oh, dang it. That right there is part of a linting update with the latest version of Schwumped, which I need to make a separate commit for that. Okay, none of this. Yeah. Webi, shell check, and Schwumped. Let's get the latest versions of shell check and Schwumped, and then just run that one more time. Okay. And then I'll make a separate commit that is... modified, none of these, okay. Git commit -m, and this will be chore update with latest Schwumped. And I'll actually put this in as part of this. Maybe. Or maybe not. That's kind of annoying. I don't want to do that, actually. Let's not do that. That was a bad choice. Git checkout -b chore Schwumped. We'll make this its own commit, and we'll deal with it after we get this fix in. So fix uname, git checkout, fix uname, git reset dash hard head 1 push dash F. Okay, so this way we're keeping it really simple. Okay, and then I think what I need to do is do this not side by side. All right, let's take a look now. So you name R, you name R, you name M, you name R. Hey, yo, Rune, are you still on? Hey, you can review this. Will you review this with me? I forgot that you're right here right now. If you would review this, that would be great. And I actually do want to do the other one first. So I'm going to go to fix. No, I'm going to go to chore schwumpt. So let's do it this way. First, I'm just going to do a hard reset by, I don't know, 4 here, rebase main. And then I'm going to run my schwumpt and run my schwumpt again and run my schwumpt one more time. I'm going to do git add all of these, check and see if there's anything else that's modified, git commit -m chore update schwumpt, push this up. I'm going to let's go through this one because this one's a no-op in terms of it just cleans up the other commit. And then what are we at with schwumpt here? Schwumpt -v. So update schwumpt to. All right, I'm going to throw this at you. If you wouldn't mind, I mean, this one is going to be a super quick review because it's removing unnecessary colons, because the colon means if it is undefined or an empty string, and then the hyphen is default to, and then what comes after the hyphen is nothing, which makes it an empty string. So anywhere that we are testing a variable for essentially, if we're not assigning it anything, so the colon would only need to be there if on the other side of the colon there is an actual word, like dog. I actually think that what they've done here is wrong. I don't agree with it. However, because it's better to just have one pattern to use every time, regardless of whether or not it's necessary, than to have 2 patterns and me have to give you an explanation like that. However, I'm not going to write my own tool for this. We're going to continue to use schwumpt as our standard tool. And as such, we are just going to use as much of its default rules as possible, and this is all correct. The only thing that's changing in any of this, because I did this once before, I think I either just forgot to get it reviewed or forgot to merge it in. Yeah, so that's what I recommend. I recommend that you only ever use :dash, because you'll never go wrong. Because here's the problem. Let's say we go to refactor this at some point, and we say, oh, Webi tag dash, and then I want to put stable here. So let's say that the stable wasn't there. It was just Webi version dash. And we want to refactor this, and we come in, we say, okay, we're going to make it Webi version dash stable. Well, now you've got a bug in the code, because now, whereas before it was replacing empty strings or undefined variables, now it's only replacing undefined variables. So this makes it more difficult to refactor. And I think that they should go back on this, because I think it's a poor choice. It's the wrong optimization. And so that's why I only use, because I did at one point, I looked at the options and I decided on purpose to use :dash rather than just dash, even though dash is allowable. Fewer rules to memorize, easier to refactor. So, but that said, regardless, I don't have the time or energy to deal with this. You know, I am going to go with the rule set that Schwumpt provides. I will check real quick and see if Schwumpt has an option to turn that off. It does not. So it does not have the option for that. I will go ahead and open an issue because I think that that's a poor behavior. But I'm going to say let's just go ahead and merge it in. And if he accepts it and if in a future version he reverts it, great. But if you wouldn't mind, just go ahead and do that one. And then I'm going to rebase the other one off of that one, which should be no problem. So I'm going to go ahead and rebase fix uname off of chore Schwumpt, and it should go very cleanly. Let's see. So there's one line where it applied both changes. So yeah, okay, so it's just one line, both changes were applied here. This line is correct. So that rebase was very, very simple and easy to do. See, folks, this is software engineering, balancing constraints and trade-offs. Oh, whoops. Get rebase, continue. Okay, thank you. Okay, and then if you would take a look at this one, I'm going to go ahead and, not this one, this one. Not this one. This one. There we go. I am going to make an issue here about I don't know how to search for that. I noticed in a recent update, where recent could just as well be 2 years ago, means recent to me, the update could as well have been 2 years ago, that blank is auto corrected to this is a mistake. Although we could optimize for slightly faster shell runtimes and 1 byte per instance smaller size, this is a mistake. Although the current change does optimize for slightly faster shell runtimes by 1 byte, runtimes and 1 byte per instance smaller script size, this is a mistake. It should optimize for readability and change, not file size. If I ever go to refactor blank to be default, this will work wonderfully. If I go to refactor blank to, let's see, and I'm not a shell expert, little do I know that I've just introduced a bug into my program. Moreover, and even if I am a shell expert, if I don't have my maximum awareness and my screen isn't squeaky clean from any dust specks, I'll still introduce a bug into my script. Which is a real and practical problem I've come across on more than one occasion. I've literally spent I think I spent over an hour, might have even been maybe a little less than 2 hours, trying to fix a bug that turned out to be literally, there was a piece of dust on my screen that every time I scrolled to that line to highlight it where I scrolled to, it would have the dust and it looked like a semicolon, but it was a comma. And I don't remember, because it seems like normally that wouldn't be a problem because the linter would give me an error that would be helpful, right? But there was some problem I had where just every time I scrolled to that part of the code to look at it, I'd always scroll to about the same spot and that speck of dust would be there. And so I never noticed that I actually had a comma, not a semicolon. So screen cleaner, it's a business expense, a real business expense, a practical business expense. Okay, and then since GitHub is updated so that it now supports Markdown and titles, we'll go ahead and put the backticks there. Okay. Let's see. All right. All right, that's my bit there. Oh, sorry, I didn't see what you said in the comments. Okay, let me double check here what happens. Push main. Main is good. Fix uname get rebase main. Get push -f. Everything is up to date. So this should not contain. Oh, hold on. What is going on here? Sorry. Get checkout sure schwumped. Get rebase main. Get push -f. Everything's up to date. Get checkout main. Get rebase sure schwumped. Get push. Get checkout fix uname. Get rebase main. Oh, you know what I need? I need my handy dandy git junk push alias. Let me bring this over here. Yorun, were you aware of Alias Man? Did you see that? Oops. So, and this will work cross-shell. This was one of my problems. This is one of the reasons I never used aliases, or rarely use them, is because you need to update the alias in all of the shells. You need to update it in Bash, in SH, in Fish, and in ZSH. Because, you know, depending on what you're doing, you might drop down into any of those shells at any time. And if you have to go back and forth and yada yada. So aliasman is like Pathman, but it's just for aliases. So all the aliases go into config envman alias, which I've only got one there right now. But yeah, so they go into there and then they get loaded from the Pathman stuff. Same concept. Anyway, let me go ahead and get junk push. So what this does is it creates a junk file, force pushes it, removes the junk file, and then force pushes it. That way it'll cause any actions that have, you know, for these commits, so that it'll refresh the commit history. Because sometimes GitHub gets stuck where if you made a change to one branch, but not another branch, then the it only runs its updates when the affected branch is the one that matters. Hold on just one second. Oh, my battery's way low. Okay. Alright, so is this one... Oh, this got put in there. Oh, we need to fix that. That's what you were trying to show me earlier that I didn't see. Oh, what do you always do via grep? I missed that part. But that's really... Oh, it happened in two places in the file, and I only got one of them, and then I assumed that I got both of them, but I didn't. Right. Okay. So here we go. Let's fix that. Are there any more of these? Nope. No more of those. Any more of these? Nope. Any more of these? Might be some because JavaScript. Okay. And then I also need this as an alias. So I'm going to do alias men git fold. And then we're going to do git commit -f and git. Actually, I don't know how to do this. I'm just going to do... I'm just going to do this for now. And I might update that later. Because basically I want something where if I do a fold commit, I just want it to say, okay, take what I just did, fold it into the previous commit automatically. And use the same commit message. That's the part where I'm not sure about. Can I do git log head? No, git log head to tilde 1. Is this gonna work? No. Git diff 1 line. No. How do I get the name from git log? That's what I need. Okay, we'll just do this one for now. And I'll figure it out. How do I get the name of the commit message? see, git commit amend. But I just want the name of the commit message. Or, oh, you're saying I can do git commit amend to fold it into the previous commit. Whatever I have staged. I did not realize that. Oh. Well, you taught me something quite nice. Oh, I didn't know it worked that way. I thought git commit amend was just allowing you to change the message. I didn't realize that it would take whatever commits you have staged or whatever you have staged and then bring it in. So I learned a very important thing from you today. Thank you. Okay, so now let us go through this together and let's see if we notice anything. So we should only have changes of things that are uname SRM related. So we get rid of A and replace it with USRM. Replace the S with SR. Replace A with SRM. Replace A with SRM. Oh, and then there were these couple of things too that were just simplifying. And that uname S equals Darwin. Darwin equals uname S. And wait, let me make sure that these are correct. So this is equal to, that's correct. This is not equal to, that's correct. This is equal to, that's correct. This is not equal to, that's correct. So I think everything here is correct. Yep, it's on beta right now. So so we can do, for example, like this. We can do export Webi host beta, and I can run what's the latest node? Are we at node 20 yet? I could check for I don't know what. Hugo's always updating. What? The latest Hugo's already installed. How about the latest Caddy? Caddy's always updating. There we go. Yeah, test it on the RPi. Yeah, if anybody else wants to test, basically just pick anything from beta.webinstall.dev. And that will test this change where it's selecting the user, it's being more selective about the user agent. So, Bun's probably updated 6 times in the last few hours. We could probably reinstall Bun here. I'll just, I'll do this here too. We'll do Webi Bun. Yep, Bun's updated again. Only once though. I was expecting much more than that. So yeah. I'm very confident in this. I should do, but this is what we should check as well, is we should check that because when you do it this way, the script runs a little bit differently. So we should check that as well. So I'm going to rumruff.localop_bun, just get rid of it. And then I'm going to try it this way. Just to make sure. And that was beta Webi. Yep. Okay. And that worked. I'm going to try it with something that is already installed. I'm going to try it over here. Yep. And let's make sure that the correct architecture installed, of course. Because that was our problem last time, was it was grabbing stuff, but it was grabbing the wrong thing. But this also tells us... Yeah, so we know, even though it was downloaded, we know it grabbed the right architecture. Because otherwise we would have a problem with it. Okay, cool. So I'm pretty confident about this. But yes, I definitely think caution is good. And this does not affect Windows because it doesn't run on Windows. This is This is Mac and Linux primarily until we get this working for BSD as well. But this is a good change. This is a good change because it gives us a much better format. So I could go back and I could refactor the detection now, because I was just thinking, okay, we get a string that's an absolute mess. We still do need to get the string for the detection of which button is highlighted on the website. And that is much more convoluted. But that's not going to include the host name either. Cool. All right. Sweet. Do you feel good about giving that your approval? Does anybody else have any hesitations? This is something that affects literally thousands of people on a daily basis. So we cannot be too cautious. But I just think that this is so, I mean, famous last words, but this is so cut and dry. The only place that's a little scary is where we're doing the escapes. But since we have the syntax highlighting, I know that the escape is correct and we can count. Okay. \1 $1 sign. / 1 $1 sign. Space $1 $1 sign. So that escape is correct. I don't have any reservations about that. With this one, this was logging to the screen, so we're just printing additional information. So not just what operating system you're on, but what version of the operating system. Because before it was just operating system and machine, and now it's operating system / version and machine. This one, we're basically just cutting out -v and potentially -p, depending on what's supported. And instead, we're only doing operating system, version, machine, and then unknown, because we are recognizing that we are using what the operating system tells us, and we're saying we don't know what the actual hardware would report. We only care about what the operating system reports the hardware to be, which is only effectual on, I mean, it's very rare that this ever happens. The only system that it happens on regularly is the Raspberry Pi. But on Windows, you are occasionally going to have something running on Windows ARM that will report itself as x86, but Windows ARM can run x86 through its own version of Rosetta. So that's not a problem. This one, the reason that it's not split out into pieces is because we just want it to be simpler to copy and paste. The information is there. So that's fine. And then here, we already went through these. So I feel like this is really, really solid in terms of very low risk. So if nobody else has any concerns that's watching, and if you feel good about this, Yarun. So I'm going to view changes. I'm going to resolve this. So if you feel good about that and you're willing to put that in, I'd say let's go ahead and just deploy it. Great. Cool. All right, thank you very much for your review. I'll go ahead and delete that branch. And then I want to go back and let so-and-so know that we fixed the bug. Where was so-and-so? Oh, fixes this. All right, 562. Oh, cool, that was automatically closed. Thanks again. Who is this? For the report, it's fixed via number 562. You will still need to remove the pathman binary. I have that on this month's to-do list to replace. Actually, I don't want to give too much info there. Just 1 second, and I'm going to give my standard. That was a really important bug, and he gave a really detailed message, so I knew exactly what was wrong. So I'm going to go ahead and make him the offer that I typically make for people with pull requests. Whoops. Which is that I will buy him lunch. Where did I put this? Right. Where's my lunch? Wait, I'm on the wrong one. Duh. Not even on mine. Okay, that makes more sense. There we go. P.S. You will still need to remove pathman binary and let it download again. I do have fixing, what was it? Let's see, I do have fixing number 505. Whoops. Come on, there we go. On this month's to-do list, it will be similar to which I did this week. And alias man, let's just go ahead and link to that. Alias man. Here we go. So I'll drop the link to alias man for anybody who wants that as well. I do have some open issues that are totally up for grabs. Yo, Rune, if you want to get this one, that would be great. I think that you can come up with a solution for it. If somebody else can come up with it, great. It's been live for a couple days. I thought maybe I'd give a first-timer a grab at it, but most first-timers aren't really skilled at Bash, and you do have to be kind of skilled at Bash in order to do this. But essentially, I made a mistake as I was making it that I only realized once I was using it, which is that it should allow you to do either format. It should allow you to do the very loose format of just alias man, alias, and then whatever the command is, but it should also allow you to do the most strict format, which is alias man, alias, and then alias, the definition in the format of an alias. So it should be able to ignore alias. So we could basically, if we see alias, we can just eat it and shift. And that would come that would come in the block where we check for the dash dash, because it should, no reasonable person should create an alias called alias, but it should be allowed to do so, even though a reasonable person shouldn't do it. And then we should be able to handle this situation where we're given the whole thing as one block, and there could be an equals here, but bear in mind, there could also be an equals on the other side of this as well. So this would come through as one argument, and we couldn't just cut where the equals is and be done with it. We have to somehow get the character count or something and remove up to that in the string. I'm not really sure how we would do that. We'd probably need to use sed and a single replace on it. We'd probably need to do a sed dot star equals question mark, a non-greedy match. But this would Too much alias for your small brain. Get a bigger brain, brah. Well, if you don't use aliases, then, well, start using them. Start using aliasment. So basically it's just, this is a command that I want to run, or a small shell script that I want to run. Think of it as a small shell script, because you can use and. You can join multiple commands together with and, or pipe, or have a director or whatever. So basically you're just saying, I want to create an alias, and an alias is just a function. I want to create a function named GC that runs this, and I want it to be saved in my shell so that every time I open my shell, it runs, it loads that function for that script. So it's just creating a function called GC that then the contents of the function are whatever you put here. So it just runs it. It just runs it. The one caveat to this is that you want it to be really, really simple to work across shells. Because if you create something that has variable syntax or loop syntax or something like that, then you really are better off just creating a function yourself. Aliases are meant to be for basically a string of commands with very simple semicolon and or pipe redirect logic. If you're going beyond that, then it will work in maybe ZSH but not bash or fish, or it'll work in fish but not bash or ZSH, and so forth. But yeah, it's just saving a function as a feature. Anyway, we got that. And I was going to paste this here too. Okay. Okay, cool beans. So I got some other stuff. NeoVim is on the horizon. Also, we are closing up on... I actually want the goal to be 1.1 stars. Because I think that 1.1 is actually the magic number. And we're going to hit that this year. I don't have much doubt about that. But once we hit 1.1, then I think we're going to start to hockey stick, because when you get over 9,000, that would be great. That's when you've already hockey sticked, when you get over 9,000. But when you get over 1.1, it's a lot easier to just have your project included in some other project. So we can go around and we can say, okay, for every single one of these installers that we have, let's go make a PR to the README and add Webi as one of the official methods for Mac, Linux, and Windows. And so we can get Webi listed between 1 and 3 times per thing. One time if they have the catch-all up at the top where they say, oh, well, just do this with Webi and it works for everything. Or 3 times if they break it down between Windows, Mac, and Linux, or 2 if they break it down between Unixes and Windows. But we go through and we just go to each one of these projects. The Vim ones probably won't go for that, but maybe they would. We can try. But once we hit 1.1K, and that's the number that shows up here, that's when things are really going to start to change in terms of having credibility, having street cred. Because Webi was stable and useful for a very long time before it finally dawned on me that, oh crap, we actually have to get stars, because if we don't have stars, people don't care how many years it's been around or how stable it's been. So that's a thing. All right, so Yorun, do you have any interest in taking on that task for Aliasman, or does anybody else in the chat have interest in taking on that task? Because I'll get to it eventually otherwise, but it would be really nice to get to this sooner rather than later. And I could just release a 1.2 with it. But it's time for me to take a break and go get lunch. This wasn't what I expected to do, but it's actually a really good start for me today, because I've just been having a really tough week in terms of just bad sleep / staying up too late and not getting enough sleep, and then just trying to getting my bones going has been a little bit rough this week. So this was a good project to start with, to just get the juices flowing and get things going again. And I don't know why there's a little bit of stutter there with my checking to see. We have 0 dropped frames, but for some reason I'm noticing a little bit of stutter in the preview image. All right. Thanks for joining in. We're going to go ahead and give a raid. So if you've got anybody in mind, let me know. But I'm going to check and see of people I follow who is available right now. And actually, nobody that I follow is on right now. So we're gonna check out some other people here. Okay. Software and game development. We got Purple Elf. I think we're gonna go to Purple Elf. I don't know who Purple Elf is, but maybe they're a good person. All right. Oh, and Purple Elf is spelled with one less E than it ought to be. All right. So I'm going to peace out. Thanks for joining in. One more thing before we go. Like, sub, follow if you want to. So, whoop. Thumbs up if you got them. Thumbs down if you don't. Every thumb helps. And I will probably catch you in a couple hours. I just need to go grab a late lunch / early dinner. And then I'm going to be back on. I'll actually be on the Dash Incubator channel. But if you check here in a couple hours, then I host Dash Incubator on this channel as well. So you can, if you want to, sub Dash Incubator. I'll give you the link to that. But that one is just my Dash work. That's not any of this other project work. But since I do so much of that, I wanted to split it out so that it doesn't get too, so that this channel stays a little bit more generic and not overloaded. So, but if you want to, this is Dash Incubator. That's where I do work on cryptocurrency stuff. And we've already got 20 followers, which is pretty exciting. We're well on our way there. So, all right. So with that, I'll go ahead and hit this raid button. Boom, raid button hit. And we will catch you later. Adios.